What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with a new episode of Under the Radar. We're back to talking about 3 albums, as there was quite a few that came out on the weekend of June 21st. And, well, this is pretty much all death metal, just different subsects of death metal, and we're going to kick things off with Construct of Lethe with A Kindness Dealt in Venom. This comes out on Transcending Obscurity, and this is a Virginia-based traditional death metal band, but also dissonant death metal. Like, musically, you get some chaotic, fast blast beat sections. There's plenty of dissonance and atonal riffs to kind of give you a little bit of like a ulcerate and immolation vibe. But there's some great clean melodies that get peppered in here and there across the board on the album. Sometimes it'll slow down to like doom territory, but there's even a track on here where there's like a bit of an animalistic jungle atmosphere, and even some of the leads were more towards atmospheric leads, even though there were also leads that were just kind of like quick and dive bomb oriented. The production's pretty beefy, solid mix. Granted, the bass is kind of non-existent on the album, and perhaps some of the songs kind of are a little too short for what they're going for. And there's one song that's 9 minutes, and the average length of the rest is like 3 minutes, so they probably could have done more, but they do improv a little bit, like improvise a little bit. So if you're a fan of, I would say, Morbid Angel, Mithras, Immolation, and Ulcerate, check this out. I'm going to give this a 3.5. I actually thought this was a pretty good album. Probably will have to check out the rest of the stuff from this band. But now we're on to the next one, and that is Gorgatron with Sentience, Revoked. This came out on Redefining Darkness, and I will never pass up a Redefining Darkness release. And this is a Fargo, North Dakota-based Deathgrind band, because it's death metal with some elements of grind in here. But man, this is maybe the nastiest sounding album out of the 3 when it comes down to the production. Low-end, nasty tremolo riffs to give it that death metal vibe. Some cool little pinch squeals at times. The groove on this album kind of varies from like death metal groove to hardcore at times. Not as many blast beats, but there's plenty of blast beats on this album. There's some cool chugging sections, occasional atonal riffs, dive bombs, and even some melodic leads. So it's almost like a hodgepodge of old school death metal and old school death grind kind of mashed together a little bit. Really, as far as any complaints I would really have, perhaps again the bass could have been a little more audible in the mix, but other than that, if you're a fan of, I would say bands to compare, I would say Cannibal Corpse, Exhumed, Hate Eternal, and Vader. Check this out. I'm going to actually give this a 4. I thought this was a great album, and it's short. It's only like 30 minutes, but man, a lot of these songs pack a punch. But now on to the third and final album, and that is Replacire with The Center Cannot Hold. This came out on Season of Mist Records. This is a Massachusetts-based technical death metal band. I actually have their last album, Do Not Deviate, but I've not gone around to check it out, and I got it out of a mystery box from Mad Rush Media on eBay. But I was kind of expecting this to be like the typical tech death, and that's all about nothing but wankery instead of riffs or moments. Honestly, this is the kind of tech death I can get behind. Like, there's really no wankery really at all. Maybe only in like the hypnotic tapping sections, but that was done more to add atmosphere rather than just showing off, hey, look at how many things I can play while tapping on the guitar and just being an arrogant jerk. No, they actually used it right in terms of adding atmosphere. But occasionally this album gets flat out brutal. Like, there are some brutal riffs, and James Dorton, I think, from Black Crown Initiate's actually the frontman of this band, and he delivers a ton of vocals, like the typical vocals you hear him do in Black Crown, some gutturals, but he's got some really good clean vocals, and the clean vocals that come up on this album were tastefully done. There's some dissonant riffs, but this is more of like Job for a Cowboy type of dissonance. There's plenty of chug. In fact, there's a lot of groove and chug on this album, which, if a tech death band incorporates chug and groove, thumbs up right away. Some angular riffs, bass melodies, proggy off-time rhythms. There's plenty of speed, plenty of chaos. Less blast beat oriented. It's just more about being adventurous and, dare I say, progressive. Even the leads feel very much like progressive metal leads. Really, I don't really have anything to complain about this album, other than maybe the production could have been a little bit more rougher, like with the guitars, but it was mixed and mastered by Jens Bogren, so you're gonna get a big sound. But if you're into Job for a Cowboy, Decapitated's a big one, The Faceless, and Decrepit Birth, check this out. I'm also going to give this a 4 out of 5. This is some great stuff too. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think of these albums? And of course, if you want to check them out yourselves, albums in the description. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.